Hey guys, it's me, it's your boy, it's Jake. I'm the Mad Italian, and it's been a while, so I'm gonna get right into this one. So, I've been seeing this quite a bit, and this is gonna be something a little bit more of a positive video, I would say. I'm not really gonna yell about that many issues. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not in like the same sense as I usually do with these. I just want to talk about something that means a lot to me as a certified gamer. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about it. So, I want to talk about storytelling, and storytelling through video games, and the importance of storytelling through video games. That I don't think a lot of people understand the importance of storytelling through video games, because a lot of people have been coming out, and this is mainly due to what I've seen with the interviews about the Last of Us show that is coming out soon. And a lot of people, mainly a lot of people that are involved with TV or don't play a lot of games, a lot of people just don't understand the whole idea of how video game storytelling works compared to storytelling in other media, whether it's books, movies, TV shows. And it really is interesting to see just how people still don't understand it. Just the difference of the storytelling of these two medias. Because you would think that we would have it figured out by now. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is that I feel like there's a few video game developers that don't really want to be video game developers anymore. And it just kind of it makes me upset to see so many people just misinterpret a story or misinterpret just how the removing a player access from a game, in a way it ruins a story. So let me just go ahead. So The Last of Us show, it's going to be a rehash of what we already know. But something that people are very quickly going to realize, and maybe they won't, maybe the show will be good. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Hopefully I'm proven wrong. But something that people are very quickly going to realize is that the story of The Last of Us is very fucking generic. Right? Like, the story is not that hard to follow. It's a zombie apocalypse. Now, it is a very unique zombie apocalypse. The clickers are very unique monsters, and the whole idea of, like, spores and all that stuff is unique. I'm not gonna, shit on Last of Us like I usually do in this. But the thing that made The Last of Us special was the relationship between Joel and Ellie. But a big part of the relationship between Joel and Ellie was the fact that you played as Joel. And because of the player's connection to Joel, that's what made people care about him. And by extension, that's what made people care about Ellie. And we also play as Ellie too, so we can't kind of have that dual perspective of caring about these characters. And this isn't just for The Last of Us. To use another similar example, I've been replaying the Walking Dead games. Lee in The Walking Dead. Now, you could make the argument that, like, Telltale games, they're very story driven. It's way more about following these characters. But I would say that Telltale also understands the importance of giving the player the option to influence what they say and what they're doing and how they interact with characters, because it's that connection. That connection, because The Walking Dead story is also pretty simple. I mean, it's backpacking off of already known media based on the comic books, and they kind of have that connective field. So in a way, they do have a little bit of a advantage, you could say, when it comes to writing, because you don't really have to do that much when it comes to video game plots to connect you to a player. Now, it is difficult. It is difficult to connect someone to a player, because in most cases, a lot of player characters are just blank slates. But it's important to know that even if you are writing a protagonist that, like a playable protagonist that you're writing for, it's important to kind of have that connection. So let's compare, and you could make an argument. It's like, well, Jake, what about this? Like, look at the movie Logan. The Logan is pretty similar to The Last of Us, where it's an older guy. He's grumpy. He's lost a lot. He's gone through a lot of shit, and he helps a young girl get through a harsh world. Okay, yeah, that's fair. They're very similar. But here's the difference. Logan has a lot of movies. That's not just one movie. There's a lot that's going in there. There are several movies. There are several books. There are several things going into this character that have been building up for a lot. It's constantly been building up. And it was something new. It was something new for this series. And that's why a lot of people liked it, and that's why a lot of people clung on to it. And I think the main point I want to make, a lot of video game adaptations have been coming out recently, and it's been proven that they can be good. Arcane is fantastic. Edgerunners is fantastic. Castlevania walked so that those two shows could run. And then we have the Halo show. And then we had the Resident Evil show. There are shows that have proven to be standouts and have proven to break this chain of the fact of, no, we can't do video games. We can't adapt them into anything else, but we can. We can, but there's leeway to it. We need to understand what makes these shows work. Why do these shows work? You want to know why Edgerunners was so good and why everyone liked it so much? Because it doesn't have that much to do. There's cameos, obviously, but everything was new. We didn't know David. David was not... He's mentioned in the game. He's referenced, but we didn't know David. David was nowhere in the game. And then we met him. We met him in the show. We know about him in the show. And that's kind of what... Because it gives the players... It gives the people in the game, the people who play the game, they are experiencing someone new. And they're like, hey, here's a new person. And there's a new story to experience. And it gives the people who haven't played the game, they kind of get to experience something unique as well. And if they want more of it, they can experience something new when they play the game. It's all about, like, no matter what, people are getting something new. Like, the fans of the show will get something new when they play the game, and the fans of the game will get something new when they watch the show. And it's the same thing with Arcane, because League of Legends, like, it has lore, but it's a multiplayer game. And there isn't that much story going around, like not counting dialogue between characters and like some background stuff. But it's also like it takes place before, and we see characters like Vi and Jinx and Caitlyn and Jace and all these characters, how they rise up, how they become who they are, and how we know them in the show. Like, we're in the games as well, but I mean, it's a little bit different because they kind of retcon a few things. But you get the point, right? Like, we kind of see it's all about how these characters grow into who they are. And Halo didn't understand that, because Halo didn't give us anything new. It copied an already trending trope of this whole, like, man in armor protecting someone, and it completely assassinated Master Chief's character. But at the same time, he used Master Chief when it really had no right to use Master Chief, because they backpacked on the whole idea of, we're going to use a recognizable character, when they really shouldn't, because it wasn't anything new. Or maybe it was something new, but it was fucking awful. It was executed horribly, and it had no respect for the source material, because the other shows had respect for the source material. And I don't know. And it's the same thing because obviously, like, even if you make it something like perfectly, if you recreate something perfectly, what's the fucking point, right? Like, what's the fucking point? There's no point in that, because all you're doing is just retelling something we've already know. We already know what this story is, because the game is already out. And I know the argument, like, not everybody plays games. Okay, you can still watch a playthrough. There's still, like, options. It's not gonna be as much of an experience, because video game is a very tailored experience compared to watching a show. And you could still do a show, because there's still opportunities for what a Last of Us show can be. You can do something new, and it just feels like such a missed opportunity, because we're just limiting ourselves to these characters. And I feel like you could tell so many stories. There's so much you can tell. There's so much potential. There's so many variety that we could be having. And we're not getting it. And I feel like I truly feel that the creators are limiting themselves. And I really wish the best for them, and I hope the show goes well, and I hope I can be proven wrong, but I really don't think I will be. And it makes me a little upset just to see this creativity wasted. So I don't know. That's just something that I've been thinking about, and and you know, I'm very passionate when it comes to these creative things, because, you know, I'm going into the field myself, and I want to work in film and editing and all this, and I this is just how I feel. So, I mean, if you guys disagree, if you guys are looking forward to any of these new shows coming out, then that's perfectly fine. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.